Joining our conversation is Kristen Urquiza. Kristen's father, Mark, died of COVID-19 in June. She was one of Joe Biden's guests at last week's presidential debate. I have to ask you first, are you healthy? Are you concerned? Donald Trump was there. His family was there. None of them were wearing masks. Have you been contacted by anyone to make sure you're doing okay?
I was terrified to learn the president tested positive and others in his inner circle. I have gotten a test myself. I have since tested negative, but unlike the president, I am observing a quarantine nonetheless to ensure that in case that was a false negative, I don't potentially put a single human being in harm's way.
So, Kristen, Kayleigh McEnany, the White House press secretary, had negative tests and kept going to work and briefing the press without her mask on. Chris Christie, I think, fell ill before he was tested. So once he had a positive test, he quarantined. But so many people in Trump's circle don't do what you just described. What is your sense of what's going on at Donald Trump's White House?
The only thing that I can say is that it seems like nobody in Trump's White House has a care for human life. They continue to downplay the virus, not implementing very simple public health measures that will keep themselves and one another safe. I mean, I've been thinking so much about the workers in that building and how their fundamental rights to a safe workplace are completely being thrown out the window because this administration wants to exude this idea of strength. Well, you know what that idea of strength is? It's toxic masculinity, which is the conditions for this virus to thrive.
You know, Kristen, your convention speech, I think you've now come on multiple times with Rachel and Joy and myself, so we've had a chance to talk to you like this. But the power of your convention speech was when you looked into the camera and said, my dad's only underlying condition was he trusted Trump. I thought of you the minute I saw Donald Trump tweet from Walter Reed, I feel better than I felt in 20 years. I mean, the disinformation and the downplaying is ongoing, so egregious that a couple of social media companies took down some of his tweets today. How do we combat that disinformation from the president, now a COVID patient himself?
I mean, I think the other thing, too, that this makes me think about is that this is a clear example of the two Americas that I also spoke about in my DNC speech. Donald Trump's America and everybody else's America, where he has access to the best care. Not only that, an abundance of caution in care. When people like my father were told to go home and wait until you couldn't breathe any longer. And that was 5 days. I think that the way that we need to silence this president is for every single one of us to vote, to ensure every single person we know votes, and to continue to vote early before Election Day happens to ensure that our votes get in there early and counted.
Kristen, do you have advice? I know a lot of people call you with parents who are politically inclined in the same way your dad was. What is your sort of advice to people that reach out to you that walked or walking similar paths to the one you've traveled?
I mean, it's not easy. Never give up. Your parents and loved ones are worth the conversations. But that being said, raise your voice, share your story. Please continue to come to me. I will continue to help as much as I can to get your story out and to ensure that what you're going through is out there in the universe. Because I think the more that we humanize what it's like to be living with COVID, the harder it is for us to turn a blind eye to its relentless pain that it wreaks on us.
Kristen, it is a privilege to get to talk to you again. Thanks for spending some time with us today on Today's News.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.